will be the last. Labour Party appoints 19-member interim committee in Rivers State. Senate approves electronic transmission of results. Commercial drivers raise alarm over attacks on Ahoda Road in Rivers State. On the foreign scene, Israeli strikes kill 5 in Gaza. I am Okey, Onwugbonu. Details of these and more will be reaching you in a moment. Stay with us. Let's begin this Tuesday evening bulletin with fresh details emerging from the latest move from the presidency to calm the Rivers political crisis. The FCT Minister Onwugbonu has confirmed that President Bola Tinubu intervened in the ongoing crisis between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the Rivers State House of Assembly. This comes as reports claimed that Tinubu, Wike, and Fubara met on Sunday night at the presidential villa in Abuja. Addressing journalists in Abuja, Wike said this will be the last time that President Tinubu will intervene in the ongoing political crisis between Governor Fubara and the state legislature.
If there seems to be a problem between the legislature and the governor, and as a father, they really have to intervene. I remember this is the second time Mr. President intervened. I believe by the grace of God, this will be the last time. I believe that the Assembly has told them to get Mr. President, which I know they will not hesitate. And I also believe that the governor will carry out some part to make sure that this is the final time Rivers people need to hear this kind of discord.
Reports from the Nation newspapers suggest Governor Fubara may likely forward the list of commissioners to the House of Assembly this week for lawmakers' consideration and approval. The presentation of the list formed part of the fresh truce brokered by President Bola Tinubu. But even as leaders shake hands in Abuja, reactions on the streets of Rivers State remain divided. The National Treasurer of the Ijaw National Congress, Philip Agu Brown, tells correspondent Suebi Oduwari that the agreement should not be seen as genuine peace, but as a temporary agreement aimed at restoring governance in the state.
The way I see it from my own perspective, the president is the beneficiary of what is now called a peace that is brokered. I don't even see it as a peace being brokered because when a negotiation between two parties is going on and the negotiation is lopsided, it's not a good negotiation. So when you call it peace, I don't see it as peace. It's just a temporary way of maybe administering the state.
Agu Brown also warned that the people of Rivers State, not political heavyweights, will decide who becomes president in 2027.
It is not the Federal Capital Territory Minister, yes, or Wiki, or the governor that has the final say. It is the people of Rivers State that will have the final say. We are not their stooges that they can use anytime in any way they like. The people of Rivers State will decide who will be their president when the time comes. So this message is to the three of them, particularly to the president. Politically, that's a mirage.
Also reacting, a Port Harcourt-based human rights lawyer, Chetam Unwala, said President Tinubu is a major beneficiary of the political settlement. He said the intervention now places the president in a position to influence the political future of Rivers State.
But today you see the governor is shouting on your mandate. The minister is shouting on your mandate. The president is now the one calling the shots. The president will now be the one to determine and decide who becomes governor of Rivers State, who produces what. When there is a crisis, everybody runs to the president to solve the problem. And whatever the president talks, that is what happens. So we are now an appendage of the president. The president determines our politics. He determines everything. Rivers will determine nothing. The president is the one who determines everything as at today. The greatest beneficiary of our crisis is the president.
Still on the crisis, a public affairs analyst, Opunabo Inkotaria, says lasting peace in Rivers State can only come when the law is respected and leaders put the state first. Inkotaria said President Tinubu must caution the FCT minister to allow Governor Fubara to govern without interference, warning that political pressure weakens the authority of the governor.
It's a master-servant relationship. Whatever he needs to do, I must give my consent. And that is what is causing the problem. So no matter what they do, unless Mr. President calls the FCT minister to order, instructing him to allow the governor to, it's going to be like pouring water on the back of a dog fowl. It's going to be a fleeting illusion. Unless he wants the governor to capitulate completely to the FCT minister. In other words, whatever, even if you have to brief, you must take permission from the FCT minister. I just hope that this time around, the president would have also told the FCT minister to appreciate his limit and allow the governor to govern. He should appreciate his limit. He was once a governor.
Inkotaria added that the governor's move for peace is not weakness, but a deliberate attempt to free the state from political control by powerful interests.
I appreciate these two issues. The governor is not weak. At the same time, he is ready for peace. But the truth is, he will not sacrifice the state in the interest of peace. What is going on is not a personal battle as far as the governor is concerned. It has to do with capture of the state, which the governor has been resisting. State capture. That's what he has been resisting. While the FCT minister is interested in state capture. So this whole issue of peace, to me is like I call it a fleeting illusion. It's like batting on the sticky wicket. The president will have to give a directive, an instruction to his employees to say, Mister, if we have crisis again in River State, I'll hold you responsible. If that happens, I'll tell you there will be peace in River State.
This latest intervention makes it the third time President Tinubu has stepped into the Rivers political crisis. Let's move away from power tussles to election matters. The African Democratic Congress in Rivers State says the Independent National Electoral Commission has promised to address the exclusion of the party's candidates from the list for the forthcoming by-elections in two constituencies. The party's spokesperson, Lucky Man Igila, told correspondent Swebi Oruwari that ADC submitted its nomination forms, but its candidates were left out of the list released last Saturday.
INEC has assured us that within this week it will be resolved. They blamed it on the system glitch. They're having one or two issues. However, we fielded candidates for both constituencies and they have assured us that it will be sorted out and then everything will be okay before the end of this week. The party leadership is working closely with INEC to ensure that these issues are resolved and there are people that are fielded by the party will, of course, participate in the election.
Igila described the omission as an attempt to deny ADC candidates, who he said are widely accepted by the constituents, the opportunity to participate in the by-election.
Our candidates that we fielded are very, very visible. They are very popular candidates within their constituencies. The Barrister Mrs. Juliet Wazo, who is a candidate for the Kana constituency too, is a very, very popular person, known by her people. We have Joramike Chukwueze from Lahuda East also. And these are popular candidates. And I don't see any other candidates standing before them. That's just the bitter truth. So whatever is going on now are just tactics from, we don't know where they are coming from.
Still on party politics, there is fresh leadership development in the Labour Party. The Labour Party's National Working Committee has appointed a 19-member interim state working committee to manage the party's affairs in Rivers State. Frederick Umoje was named chairman, with Choma Atandikiari as secretary. The party says a new team will rebuild and strengthen its structure in the state. This follows a federal high court ruling in January, which recognized Senator Nenadi Usman as the lawful leader of the party, a decision now reflected on INEC's website. Meanwhile, the Labour Party National Caretaker Committee, led by Nenadi Usman, today resumed work at the party secretariat in Abuja. The court also ruled that the tenure of the former party chairman, Julius Abure, has expired and directed INEC to recognize the Usman-led faction. Still to come, Senate approves electoral transmission of results. Stay tuned.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back. Now, the rest of the news. The Senate has reversed its earlier decision on the Electoral Act amendment, reopening the door for electronic transmission of election results. Lawmakers re-amended the law to allow results to be sent electronically from polling units to INEC's IREV portal. However, the Senate said where the internet fails, Form EC8A will still be used. The decision was taken during an emergency session after a motion by the Senate Chief Whip, Tahi Monguno. Senate President Godswill Akpabio said President Tinubu is expected to sign the amendment law this month. The Senate has also set up a committee to work with the House of Representatives on the amendments. Earlier, disagreements among lawmakers over how results should be transmitted caused tension on the Senate floor. Senator Enyinaya Abaribe initially called for individual voting on the matter, but later withdrew the call. Reacting to the development, the former governor of Rivers State and former Minister of Transportation Chibuike Amechi says standard of living in Nigeria has become worse under the administration of President Bola Tinubu. Amechi spoke today, Tuesday, during a protest against the rejection of real-time transmission of election results at the National Assembly. Addressing protesters and journalists at the venue, Amechi, who defected from the APC to the ADC, criticized Tinubu's administration for worsening economic conditions and alleged corruption.
His life for you is better now than it was when I was living. Because it is worse now than it was then. In Buhari's time, at least, even though we are planning to do something, we had other plans to do. We are not seeing this bad now. And yeah, I don't know how this is $16 billion contract, coastal road. We are awarded without the due process.
The demonstration, which is being led by civil society groups and political figures, is calling for amendments to the Electoral Act, particularly the inclusion of mandatory real-time electronic transmission of election results ahead of the 2027 general election. From politics, we move to security concerns on our roads. Commercial drivers operating from various motor parks in Port Harcourt have expressed fear over traveling along the Abua-Ahuda road due to persistent insecurity in the area. Speaking in an interview with correspondent Nnamdi Nwala, the drivers said they are frequently attacked by armed hoodlums who assault them and rob both drivers and passengers of their valuables whenever they ply the routes. They appeal to the government at all levels and security agencies to urgently step up security measures to ensure the safety of motorists and other road users along the Ahuda-Abua road.
The Ahuda-Abua road, we drive with fear on that road. Anytime we move on that road, we're scared of those bad boys from Edoha, Okporogo. They rob us, collect money from drivers' phones, beat us, join, collect handset.
Any driver going there with fear. Only God they help us. So we are now crying for the state government to come and intervene.
Once I move, I use my head, watch out the road there. The security that are there, they are always carrying pipeline. They don't have time for the drivers. We have 2 checking points, army checking point. They are only on pipeline. So we need extra security that will check the Abua Degema Ahuda road.
Sometimes you go, some group of boys will just come out for road, attack the driver and the passengers.
Government say make everybody drop arm, but they kidnap my brother. Up till now we never see him. And when they carry motor they go, then they always rob us.
From politics, we move to security concerns on our roads. I beg your pardon, and still on community concerns, residents of Kakramai in Asaritora local government area are calling for stalled development projects to resume. A native of the community, young Lord Gina, appealed to the Rivers State government to revisit the suspended internal road project awarded by the former sole administrator. Has said the project was stopped without any clear explanation and that efforts to get answers from the government have failed since the return of Governor Fubara.
We have this internal road project that was awarded by the sole administrator. Resumption of our governor, his administration put it on hold. I don't know if it counts, but the entire community is completely messed up. The roads are unaccessible and it has life difficult for the inhabitants of the community to really go about. And then we have written extensively to the governor. I believe he has received some of our write-ups. People in the community are very much unhappy about the state of the project.
Lord Gina also claimed that the contractor had been paid about 50% before work was halted.
No, and the company has been mobilized. If you come to the community, you will see countless of so much cement and all of those things, shipping lines and all of that are brought in to do the work. There is no point cancelling that because the one for Bonima wasn't cancelled, the one for Boma wasn't cancelled, but there are some that companies that are cancelled. But I think that is my plea to the government. Let's have the job done, completed, and give the community a better life because we cannot even drive to a house. The roads are unaccessible.
Away from that, a businessman, Marvin Comrade, has accused his landlord of removing the roof of his apartment without his consent after he reported that some parts of the roof were leaking. Speaking to our correspondent, Comrade says the agreement was only